YouTube, this is Jiyambi from wowpro.com. Welcome to the third installment of the questing and zone review for the Southern Barrens. When we left off, we had just reached a small encampment called Vendetta Point. It's located very close to the ruins of Camp Torrejo, which you can see in a couple of these shots. Our first quest is to kill lions. It's very random. The quest is given by Jorn Skyseer, who you may remember giving you oh so many quests to kill helpless animals whenever you were questing in the Barrens long ago. And he's still at it. We're going to basically skip all of that because killing lions is not very interesting. I'm not really sure why that's in the game. This quest, however, is pretty cool. We have to basically take over this little hill, and I like to think it's maybe training for PvP because they have you fight at the flag. Ha ha ha. Anyway, basically you just stand here, help these guards defend this flag. Actually, a lot of Alliance NPCs end up attacking. I'm assuming that a lobby would let the guards help them quite a bit more than I did. But it's a lot of mobs at once, so I'm not quite sure what the difficulty would be for a correctly leveled character for this quest. The attack goes on for quite a while. I went ahead and skipped it. The only big rush is right at the beginning, though. So the next quest has us head over to the gate that is now standing in between the Barrens and Mulgore, and is basically the reason that the Alliance have not pushed into Mulgore already. And I haven't gone through the Mulgore questing yet, but I am under the impression that there are some quests involving said gate in the Mulgore zone. So basically right now we're just going over there to destroy some catapults so that they don't knock down the gate. This quest is pretty simple, so I'm just going to show you one of the catapults and then we're going to go ahead and skip ahead. This next quest actually made me really sad. Probably the saddest that a quest has ever made me in WoW, and it's a little silly because the NPCs that you find, basically they send you over to Camp Torrejo to put some of the souls of the killed NPCs to rest. And none of the NPCs that you find are particularly important. There's skinning trainer, leatherworking trainer, the flight master, things like that. But it's just really sad to me to see these, sort of underappreciated NPCs having given their lives to help the other Tauren from this area escape. And some of them don't seem to quite realize that they're dead. Some of them do, and they thank you for putting them to rest. It's just a really neat little quest that really is quite interesting in terms of carrying on the story. At this point, you also have a quest to kill these nasty looters who are in here taking advantage of Torrejo's misfortune. So that's always a bit satisfying to do that. I'm going to go ahead and skip the last two eulogies that you perform here and just show you what Torrejo looks like kind of from a little farther away and from the sky as well. It's really just kind of sad to see one of the quest's hubs that I knew so well just destroyed, but I also really like that Blizzard was willing to do something like that. It really definitely increases the immersion factor. The next quest that we're about to get, well, technically a small series of quests, is probably my favorite in this zone. I need to give you a little bit of background, since you probably can't read what's happening here, but Camp Torrejo was razed because it was not defended. The Horde probably could have defended it, but the general who was in charge of this part of the Horde's defenses chose to instead pull his men back to the fortress and allow Camp Torrejo to be destroyed. And so now the commander who was in charge of Vendetta Point, that little camp that we were just at, is being sent by Garrosh down to talk to this general who displayed such cowardice, and you are given this wolf and a guard here to go down and basically inform the fortress of the impending visit from this other orc. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip the main bit of travel here, but I just wanted to give you some background on what's about to happen because it is pretty awesome. I am not a big Garrosh supporter. I'm in fact pretty much a Bleeding Heart Thrall fan, but this little event does endear me a little bit more to Garrosh's version of the Horde. So you can see that we're now entering a sort of a battle zone. There's a huge battle constantly raging here between the Horde and the Alliance over this big chasm between the two main fortresses. So we're just riding up to the Orc fortress here to the right, but we'll go and check out that battle in a minute. One thing that's been really nice that I've seen is that the Blizzard has really tried to be very creative in the way that they lead you from quest hub to quest hub. See here we're sent as this vanguard and they're actually given a mount that takes us right to where we need to be. This is the orc that has displayed such cowardice, and it's really cool because Blizzard gave him a very distinct way of speaking, which really brings his character to life. I very much approve of very small details such as that help, just make characters less two-dimensional. It's a little bit silly because this orc basically asks you, oh, well, you're on my side, essentially, and you kind of go along with him, but it's sort of understood that you are really not on his side since you've been doing all these quests for the other orc, the one who's coming to investigate him. Generally, it's assumed that you are just kind of going along with this guy. He has you meet him at the top of this tower. It's just a nice little way for them to do some phasing and wait for you to get up here and the two commanders come in and talk. I really wish I'd recorded the sound for this, though I'm not actually 100% sure that it actually has a voiceover. So I'll basically summarize what they're saying when they actually get up here and start talking. He's thanking you for helping him out. The other guy comes up and asks him if this is where he's been hiding. And of course, the current commander of the base claims, oh no, I'm not hiding, I was reinforcing my position. And Bloodhilt says, well, if it wasn't for the player, the Alliance would be marching into Mulgore. And the guy starts making excuses. He tells him he's been relieved of command. He says, over my dead body, and then you fight. But once he's reduced to, 0 hit points, he starts begging for his life, acting like a complete, not an orc. And it's quite hilarious because the commander who just showed up says, well, what, don't you understand what victory or death means? And as you can see, he drags him to the window and throws him out. Yeah. Though that guy really deserved it. But anyway, that's pretty much the awesome event that culminates that little quest chain, and now you'll be doing quests for that new commander in this fortress. Well, that's it for part 3. I'm going to be posting part 4 in the near future, so stay tuned and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks!